everyone. We are going to talk about the future of retail and distribution, which I think is a really important subject for all of you founders. And we have an awesome group of panelists from some really great companies, and we're so excited to play with y'all today. So ladies, the changing retail landscape. Let's go through, and if you guys could introduce yourselves, that way everyone can put a face with the name and brand name, and then we'll get into the meat of it.
Hi everyone, I'm Jaclyn Diamond. I am a buyer at Macy's. I oversee skincare, hair care, and artistry makeup, and also our inclusive beauty initiatives and our clean beauty initiatives.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Tosun. I'm the local forager for Whole Foods Southern California areas. I oversee the center store, which is grocery and whole body side of the business. And that's it.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Ashley Tanner. I'm director of buying at Cosbar. We are a luxury beauty retailer in fragrance, skincare, makeup, and hair care.
Hi everyone, my name is Mindy Zemrak. I'm the supervising casting producer for a little show that you might have heard of called Shark Tank. I've been on the show since season 1. We are lucky to be scouting the floor today, looking for new brands for season 16.
Thanks guys, we're so glad that you're all here. Let's talk trends. We'll just dive right into it. What trends are you guys seeing in the marketplace, in stores? What are people buying?
If I hear one more customer come in for the latte look, I mean, TikTok really has an influence out there. Our customers really asking for that brown tones and new tones, but if you were to really take it to the more technical piece, I really do feel that the industry is looking to experts and brands that are led and have experts speaking on their behalf.
Yes, same here. With the TikTok experience, we've got a lot of customers looking for little luxuries. As we know, things are costing more, but everybody still wants to spoil themselves from time to time. I think one of our best sales is the 12 for 12 oysters every Friday. I know I'm a customer of that one. But yeah, the customer's just looking for something that's just a little higher end, but maybe in a little bit smaller format so they can still afford it and the price is right.
So we're known for our skincare, but fragrance right now is definitely having a moment. You know, you wardrobe your face with all your products. Now everyone's wanting to buy that designer fragrance, Baccarat Rouge. You know, we can't get enough of that.
So with Shark Tank, we see everything. We see everything and anything. So the big trend that we kind of saw in season 15, which we just finished about a month ago, and we're airing those episodes now, is we saw an uptick in AI. We saw an uptick in the death, like DEATH industry. The death tech industry is actually kind of blowing up, and I find that industry really interesting just because there's so much innovation happening. But AI for sure is kind of the big one. But we also, I'm sure everyone at this point on this panel has companies that we've had on Shark Tank. But yeah, innovation is certainly not falling behind, and we see a lot of trends on TikTok that actually end up on Shark Tank as well. So it's kind of a really cool experience working on the show and getting all of those trends at once in different industries.
So when you're then doing casting, are you looking to cast different companies that are following those kind of AI trends? And how are you guys making those decisions when you're planning out your whole season with companies that you're going to highlight?
That's a great question. So we look at everyone because everyone's in a different kind of bucket. It's not a competition show. It's not a game show. So you're not really, in competition with anyone else. It's truly, what you bring to the table. So it's everything, Shark Tank companies and products are very much 50% about your backstory and your journey, and then 50% about the actual product itself. And so we look at everyone, and we have approximately 20,000 applicants per year. And so we have to narrow that down. And obviously, if there's some companies who have raised maybe 10 million, but then you have someone else who's doing something similar and they've only done a seed round for a couple 100,000, they might have more stakes versus someone who's, further along that doesn't want to give up as much equity in their company. And so we look at obviously trending companies, but it doesn't have to, everyone thinks trending and it is synonymous with tech, but it's not. It could be trending in the baby care industry with, new diapers and bamboo diapers. It could be trending in hair and skin and wellness. It could be the beverage industry. So we at Shark Tank always are looking for those trending companies because much like the industry is a couple steps ahead of the game, Shark Tank also wants to be ahead of the game as well. But again, your backstory does come into play. And so it's a big, giant puzzle to figure out who we're going to put in front of the sharks, which is a hard decision.
And now you're going to be getting emails that say, I saw you at FounderMade.
Great, blow up the DMs, we're ready.
That's so interesting. I think, I know at Chinese Laundry, we're having a lot of conversations around AI and how do we have a more increased shopping experience, both in store and online. What are you guys doing to drive people back in store and to kind of give a more elevated experience? I'd love to hear from, Michelle, you've got this luxury,
Definitely.
Right, luxury demographic, luxury experience, which is kind of your bread and butter. Will you tell us a little bit about it and how you kind of see the trends and then amplify them in store?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we carry, luxury skincare brands, luxury makeup brands all around the world. You can buy these brands, pretty much, at any location, but what we're selling is beauty as a service. So we love to partner with our brands. Come on and let's do it an in-store spa event. We invite our clients, we personalize it, we provide a gift for them as well. And then light bites, and just a whole experience within the store, and a curation. So we really rely on our brands to help us educate, and we prescribe to each customer, based on their needs, what products that they need. So it's a full approach, not just product, but experience, luxury, all of that.
Yes, we have a very similar take. The customer is definitely back in store, but your most valuable consumer is your omni-channel customer. So it's really about that 360-degree approach of how you're re-reminding the customer that you exist and where they can be purchased. We've also invested in virtual try-on in store, and we're testing it with select makeup brands, and we are seeing very high conversion. So if that's an opportunity for your brand, definitely something to consider. And our site is very focused on personalization. So you all could look at your phone right now and have a different Macy's.com experience, literally, right in this room, sitting next to each other. And we're really focused on the A/B testing of what works and what does invite conversion. So a lot happening, even in a retailer that has been around as long as Macy's, to really keep up, try get ahead of what the customer wants to see from us.
Virtual try-on for makeup sounds amazing, and when I'm walking off the stage, I'm going to go try some purple eyeshadow because I've never tried it and I've always wanted to, and I'm going to do it. So at Whole Foods, right? You're showing emerging new products, foods, totally different than beauty. Tell us about it.
So yeah, we have seen a lot of return to store with our customers. One way where we're trying to really amplify it in the stores is a discovery program where it's just a sign package that we are picking 30 to 40 products, new products every month that we're highlighting with signage, telling a little bit of the story about what's different about the product, where it comes from, and just bringing that whole element of new trial, discovery, and just giving the customers a reason to pick up something that they wouldn't normally have done that day.
Just if I may jump in, it's wild because from Shark Tank's perspective, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, and we see all of the ads, and I get hit randomly all the time. But so many times I go into a retail store, a Whole Foods, a Macy's, what have you, and I just go up and down aisles. And there has been many instances where either I'm like, oh, they've tried out for Shark Tank, or I find new companies that we haven't seen. So it's really interesting from our perspective, because we want to get into those retailers to walk around to see what's on the shelves, because then if they already have a presence with you, it could be a good fit for us. So that's really always, even though the sharks might be like, retail's bad, direct to consumer, we find a lot of everyone on those shelves still.
I'll be the first to tell the sharks that your show works. I've had brands featured on your show that have seen a halo effect on the sales immediately. So we thank you. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll do our part.
Great.
And it goes to that shopping is entertainment, right? So you can go and discover new products, and I think that's one of the reasons why the audience loves it so much, right? You've got the story, and then where can I buy this? And then they come in store.
Yeah, absolutely. Our clients love to meet the founders. So if you are a founder-led brand, they really love to put a face to the name of a product. It's not just a nameless brand. So when they're able to go and meet and introduce, and you all are able to speak to it and give them your own tips and tricks, they absolutely love it.
I happen to have a few of my founder friends in the audience today, and really these iconic people who are sitting right in front of us today really know how to connect with the community, how to show up for the customer, even in a large space like a Macy's, and really know how to hold a presence and make a presence. And there's a lot of really amazing people in this room today that you definitely can all talk to about how a few of you over here have brought community into our huge organization.
Yeah, I definitely want to second that, and just the fact that while the customers love it, even as a buyer, I sometimes fangirl when I get to meet the supplier that has product that's already been in our store, and just because sometimes it's introduced to us through a broker, it's introduced to us through so many different ways that, when you finally meet the supplier themselves, the founder, and it's just amazing to just hear the passion they have behind what they do and why they do it.
Do you guys ever do any in-store activations where you actually have the founder come and have a moment in store and invite their fans to come actually have that real life experience?
Yeah, absolutely. Jaclyn, I know you and I are like, yes, this is what we're made for. We love in-store events. One brand that I'll just, come to mind, Gucci Westman Atelier, Newport Beach, is her clientele. We brought her in. We did an off-site type masterclass dinner, and they get a lovely gift at the end. We are craving for that. It's all about the authentic experience. Your product is here. It's here for a reason, for efficacy. So if you can really story tell, and it's that art of selling and that in-store experience is what really sells our clients. So we love that. And that's not something you get in the digital space at all. It doesn't translate from that art of storytelling for sure.
Well, I'm not sure if you all were here earlier, but Dorian Renat of Butterskin were very and so excited to have him here today. He spoke earlier, and really when Dorian came to me about how he wants to show up for his community in our stores, he said, Jaclyn, think of the early 2000s and CD signings, and that is what I'm going to bring to Macy's. And every location that Dorian has visited with us and put on an event, just meeting customers, taking pictures with them, inviting them to experience the product, they really are top locations. So as I said earlier on the earlier panel, definitely what's old is new again. So don't just keep on top of what's happening that you're new and excited about, like AI, but really that personal touch really does go a long way.
Nostalgia, right? The 90s are back.
Yes.
What are you guys doing to amplify the trends that you're seeing? How are you kind of seeing them and then doubling down to go further on that?
So for us, what we're really doubling down on right now is in the hair care space. Hair is a huge market that's out there. And we just got into the game a couple years ago. I actually launched our hair care business about 2.5 years ago now. And, we're doubling down, but the customer, it's all about building awareness, training the in-store sales associates, and letting the customer know it's there. And we do big very well, and it still is even a challenge to crack a code on launching a new category. But keep us on your radar, because a lot of exciting things to come within the hair space for us specifically.
Yeah, and I would just take on that, just trends and newness, and how does that translate to our client. She's a mature customer. She really loves what she loves. So to introduce her something new, really encourage sampling. Also giving gratis to our store specialists. You know, I tell my team all the time, our clients are our beauty specialists in store. We're servicing them so they can service our clients with the best product in the world. So any type of, as soon as you sell it to them and you get them to experience it, they'll just make sure that they're telling that story really strongly. So I would say gratis for our specialists is how we translate newness and trends, and then also sampling to our customer as well.
Emerging foods. We're going back to food. How do you pick them when you are out and you are trying to decide what you want to buy and what you want to put in, as a forager? How are you finding it? Where are you looking? And what's the criteria that you're kind of marking against?
So we just published our 2024 top 10 trends, and that, like the work that went behind that, it was months in the making, about 50 plus team members from the foraging team, also the buying team at the global office, and culinary experts in the field. And once we kind of collaborate and bounce a lot of ideas about what we're seeing trends in, whether it's taste profiles, purchasing occasions, then that's basically like kind of parked in our brain, and what we're keeping an eye out for when we go to events and when we're following Instagram trends and looking at what's new, what's coming out, and like trying to figure out how it ties back into exactly what we already thought was kind of emerging and happening. We have a great program called LEAP. It's the local and emerging accelerator program. So we do a lot of work there to just look at brands that are brand new to shelf, but also brands that have been recently on shelf and make sense that they're poised for growth. They're ready to expand to additional markets and metros throughout the country, and just kind of trying to work with them to make sure that they can move forward to the next step in growth.
Are you open to letting people that are here at FounderMade shoot you a note, be like, hey, I met you, I have this awesome product?
Yes, I'm excited.
Slip into her DMs, guys. You heard it here. That is why she's here.
Yes, exactly. We're always looking for something new, understand too, before, when what we're already selling. Like, what do you differentiate from what we're already selling? What are you bringing to the table that's different, that whether it's packaging, ingredients, taste profiles, know what the space you're stepping into and how you can accentuate it, complement it.
Is there a white space that you specifically see right now? I know I'm putting you on the spot. I want to know where the white space that everyone sees. If you want to speak to it. If you don't, we can move on. This is a curveball question. I'm sorry.
I know.
I said I wasn't going to do it, and now I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's white space out there. I know one of our trends is women's health, and it's from taboo to top of mind. Just understanding that there are things that a lot of companies haven't really wanted to tap into or address or approach, and so I think there's white space there to find the right products that offer the right benefits.
In my perspective, it's not that it's a necessary gap in assortment, but there are far less options for brands for people with melanated skin, and really anti-aging products in the category. And I just really have seen major success within our portfolio for brands that really speak to direct consumers and their needs and their concerns and feel represented on the shelves. So for us, I think it's just about options for the different consumer groups, and really studying the consumer groups that are out there, and knowing that everyone deserves options. And when it's done good and it's good product at the right price for that customer, you have a winning formula.
Yeah, definitely. I would just say quickly, skincare is our bread and butter. Skin is your largest organ. The bath and body category is definitely an area of opportunity for us. So how do you do that same luxurious treatment to your face all over your body? So we're seeing that trend from our heritage brands and new brands.
So this is kind of a silly question, but in that in that space where you're looking to close these gaps, when you're kind of trying to double down and you're like, okay, how are you going to pick between two products that have similar ingredient lists, similar packaging? How are you going to make that decision? And would you have any advice for the audience of how to drive volume, right? Because volume is the thing that as a founder you really need to get to scale, to be able to get those dollars and meet the revenue, whether you're raising money or what it might be. How do you then say, okay, I'm going to double down on this, and what's advice that you can give around driving volume specifically when there are other competitors that they're completely lined up against?
So it really is about, obviously, amazing product. In the beauty business, we all want reorders, right? We want the customer to keep coming back. So a lot of brands come to me, they think they're going to ship me one PO and it's just going to fly off the shelf. But what we really need to see is how you're supporting. What's your awareness building strategy? How are you getting product into more consumers' hands? What's your PR plan? And what's your innovation schedule? I have so many brands that come to me and I say, where do you want to be in 5 years? And they're like, in all Macy's. I go, no. I want to know, what does your product line look like? What's your goal? What customer are you tapping into? And what is going to be there in the next 5 years? Michelle and I were actually talking backstage how I always say our first initial meeting, that's a first date. Then we sign the paperwork. That's a prenup, right? And then we get married. And we hope for those marriages to last 100 years, right? That's the goal here. And we want to build with you and see you grow. And trust me, the job does not stop at your first PO. That is only the beginning.
Definitely. We're long-term relationship people. I think we have that in common for sure. Everything, Jaclyn, you just said, I completely echo that. And just reiterating what I was mentioning earlier, for us, in-store is our biggest channel at Cosbar. So really investing in education with our beauty specialists, taking the time to go into stores and building relationships. So relationships are just so key with your retailers. I think you see, Macy's.com and Cosbar.com, but there are faces behind here, and we're really passionate, and it's a mutual partnership. We want you to succeed. So I think just investing in those key elements like education, brand awareness, and then in-store events. How can we activate and make the store come to life? That is such an exciting thing, having people coming back into store. They really want to meet you. They really want to learn about your product. So taking those steps is key.
So for Shark Tank, obviously, it's kind of what they said. So we obviously get a lot of companies that are very similar. So say, for instance, we get, two cupcake companies that are very similar. Maybe one has raised $5 million. Maybe the other one has raised only $100,000 and they're bootstrapped. For us, it comes down to, obviously, flavor. We do taste everything that we get. There's a lot of sampling in my office. But it's also, again, your backstory, who you are, and really kind of being able to pinpoint what makes you different and unique from anyone else that's already on the market. That really is kind of the first thing that should come out of your mouth when you're pitching our team, which is, hey, I know you've seen cupcakes. This has been around forever, but let me tell you how we're different and we're unique. I make it out of unicorn poop. Okay, great. Well, I haven't heard that in 15 years. And in terms of for us, we take companies across the board. If you've raised, close to 5 to somewhere between 5 and 10, you could still end up on the show because we do have those types of companies that are on. But also, if you are pre-rev and you need an investment to get to the next step, that's a great example would be the Comfy. They came in, we had 5 sharks, only 4 prototypes were handed out. I have one of the originals still, and now they've gone on to do, I think, $300 million in sales. And Bombas is similar. Bombas, I'm sure everyone knows Bombas. It's a sock, but they are our #1 top-selling Shark Tank company. They just surpassed $1 billion $1 billion with a B, $1 billion in sales in 10 years, and their business model has proven very well. But for companies that are up and coming now, we're seeing a trend of TikTok and Instagram and kind of trying to get those companies to go viral, which then their sales are astronomical. So we're seeing kind of an uptick in that of getting those numbers on board before they actually come into the tank. But much to what they said, we all agree, because even though it's retail, Shark Tank still, that all fits within our profile as well.
Has there been something that you've seen that set apart different companies that have been on Shark Tank that has had them drive volume specifically? Is there any through line?
Sorry, say that again.
Is there a through line to companies that you've had on the show that has made it more successful than another?
Probably, but after 15 years, I mean, I've seen everything and then some. So I can't pinpoint anyone. I'm sure we have. But, something as simple as a sock, but it was a sock that hugs your foot. And they do the when you buy one, they donate a pair. And obviously that's a lot and their story and everything. But we have so many different companies with so many different entrepreneurs and so many different backgrounds. And that's what we love celebrating, which is, in this country, you can have any background, any ethnicity, anything, and you can go on and you can become successful. And that's the mission and what we really want to push, which is it's you. You have to be that driving force. And I tell everyone at our open calls, I'm like, even if you don't, want to be on TV, but you want an investment, come in and take a shot of tequila, take a shot of coffee, whatever, and sell it. Because if you do not believe in what you're selling, 5 sharks will not get behind you, and then 5 to 6 million viewers are not going to purchase your product. But if you come in, whether you get a deal or not, and you own it, your sales are going to go through the roof with or without a shark. And that's all you can ask for in terms of the American dream, in my opinion.
Yeah. Do you want to speak to driving volume in the food space?
I definitely think it's knowing who you are, understanding what your brand is, being able to really tell that story, being able to tell it well. It definitely demos, getting the product, getting people to try. If you're a brand new type of product coming into this space and nobody knows what that grain is going to taste like in that form factor, I mean, you really have to know how to do it, demo it well, demo it often. Listen to the customers. Don't let your ego get in the way. Be receptive to feedback. The buyers, the merchant team that's working with you, stay close with them. Be on top of the numbers. Just have that dialogue. Be open to changing. Be nimble. And those are the brands that I see really be successful because they were able to pivot once they saw what wasn't working, and then push forward towards what is working, or suggestions that you got along the way.
Yeah, that's all such great advice. As we close out this panel, I'd love to hear what you guys are most excited about, for the holiday season, as retail is, what we're all going to be doing as we're shopping for the perfect gift.
Food. I love all food. Just honestly, seeing kind of the new brands that come out that are seasonal, that usually I always yes, they're seasonal, but if they can take off beyond the seasonal time, then there's kind of more, I don't even know what the word I want to use is, but there's something to that, and it means that they can grow in many other industries at different times of year. But I personally am a food person, so I love all the food.
At Macy's, we talk about the holiday season every minute of every hour of every day. You think gifting at the holidays, a lot of people equate it with purchasing their gifts at Macy's, and it really kicks off with our Thanksgiving Day Parade, which is a monumental American iconic moment. And holiday is actually going up in the stores as we speak. So visit your local Macy's, shop early. The gifting looks amazing. And but really, don't ever discount what gifting is. It is a time to recruit a new customer. It's a time to hit a different price point, and it's just really a time to go after, winning that new customer over and making them fall in love with your brand. Because how good do you feel opening that present around the holiday time? And that's a memory that we love to instill with our customers.
Do you guys have anything you want to add really quick?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'd say the same thing. In-store eventing and gifting, our holiday parties. Our lady's a last-minute shopper, so that crunch time, that week before Christmas, we're all about our holiday parties and gifting.
All right, we're out of time. Come talk to us, slip into DMs. Thanks so much for staying, and have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.